Spoilers follow, and be sure to check the description for content warnings.
We travel back in time tonight to probably the most 1990s movie we've ever covered, or imagined we covered, or something. It's hard to tell with all the drugs and Brice Willis prison shower scenes. In 1995's 12 Monkeys. Welcome to the Nostalgia Killers podcast, where we revisit films from our youth to see if they still hold up or should be inserted into the great DVD player in the sky, blah, blah, blah. I'm Luke Lond, joined once again by Bryan.
Hello.
I don't know if it's ironic or not, but...
Shaved, freshly shaved, going for the Brice Willis 12 Monkeys look. Just
I was thinking Life of Brian.
Oh, there we go.
Brian, clean your room. Be sure to stick around for our Sonic Death Monkey Top 5, where we talk about our top 5 movies we'd go back in time to stop from happening. Act 1, all the feels. A few good memories, or Lacuna repeat customer. I believed I had seen this movie. And after sitting down to watch it with intent, I realized I had not seen the entire thing ever.
You know, I'm really not surprised. This is my connection to this one is I had a good friend in college that had a little VHS collection, and I was constantly borrowing movies from him. And this and another Brice Willis vehicle, The Jackal, were probably the two movies I borrowed the most often.
Okay.
So I've probably seen this movie close to 10 times, but if you ask me to describe what happened in it, I don't think I could do it.
How long since you've watched it? Is it since that era?
It had been probably over a decade, maybe a little longer, but even freshly watched, like the plot itself.
You still don't know what happened.
I mean, I remember now, but the plot is so convoluted, you know, and there are absolutely reasons for that.
Sure.
It was just like having a really hard time even remembering what the movie is about. I know there's time travel involved, and that was about it.
they are juggling 3 or 4 plot lines into one thing that has 7 or 8 actors that probably only needed 3.
And
it does get a little confusing. I watched it 2 times in the past couple of days, and the second time watching, I was going, yeah, this would be hard to show someone today, like brand new, if they didn't have any kind of attachment or nostalgia to it. But I think I've only ever seen this on TV.
That would probably
whenever
make
it was
it
on,
that much more confusing.
Yeah, and I remember liking the premise and the idea and the art design, because I've always liked Terry Gilliam in Brazil.
Yep.
But yeah, very, very ingrained in my soul. But watching it again, I gotta say I liked it. Like watching it with intent and studying it, I'm like, this probably, if it wasn't so confusing, more people would like it.
Well, okay. So one of the things that I had always, every time I watched the movie, I saw in the opening credits, there's a whole inspired by. And did you look at all into what that movie was?
No.
So in the 1960s, there was a French short film, 26 minutes long, I think, called La Jetée. It is a 26 or 27 minute long short film, and I'm putting film in air quotes because the reality is it's just a sequence of black and white still photos. It is like as European art film as you could probably imagine.
Sure.
And so this is a film inspired by a 26-minute French film made entirely of black and white photos that 2 people saw and decided, let's make a sci-fi movie based on this.
Yeah.
And so when you go in, like, I think when I watched it this time, I had a much different understanding of it.
Okay.
And
I want to go check out that movie.
Basically is Terry Gilliam got the script and was like, they're actually making this movie. how in the hell? Because they're like, somehow somebody got the whole green light to make a European art film through the Hollywood system.
Right.
He's like, of course all, because he was a director for hire. He had no part in the making, writing, anything of this movie. It's one of the first movies that he was just purely a director for hire on. It was this, and I think The Fisher King right before this.
Right.
And so it was kind of different for him. And yeah, when you look at the movie through that lens, you're like, okay, that explains why I've never really been able to understand it.
Yeah, the main writer, David Webb Peoples.
I think it was him and his wife. It was like
she is also credited. Yeah, but I think this is the only one they're both credited on. But he, going back through his stuff, I realized last night that he did Blade Runner.
Really?
Yeah, so he wrote all these great sci-fi Leviathan, the match to the Abyss, that came out at the same time. All these, the Blade Runner, Lady Hawk.
That's fucking. I didn't look up his.
Yeah,
that's insane.
So this story is from this guy.
That's wild.
Yeah, and it's and I don't know if we'll talk about it later, but there's we'll talk about this right now. But there's other film called Soldier with Kurt Russell. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I don't think so.
One of my absolute favorite films of all time. There's Tombstone and then Soldier.
Wow.
I highly recommend them back to back, like right next to each other. And I think Soldier came out in a, it just got washed out by bigger movies.
Okay.
But it's a good movie and it's an important movie and it's got like it hits all the keystones of what a really good movie is and sci-fi on top of it. And we're going to do it on this show, so we'll see.
Nice.
But yeah, this David Webb or David Peoples.
Yeah.
So that's like the pedigree of.
That's crazy. I mean, when I watched a whole bunch of like extra stuff while I was watching this, and the vibe that I got in kind of the conversations that I saw between them was like husband and wife screenwriting team. It didn't really, I had no idea that like that they had that kind of credentials under their belt. It kind of seemed, I don't know. I got a completely different vibe just from like watching them talk, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I thought so. I just want to go ahead and say, I'm going to say right now that I like this. I'm going to let it live. I'm just going to spoilers, whatever. I miss good sci-fi like this.
Yeah.
That doesn't use, I think, I thought about it a lot. And I think I kind of figured out what the problem was and when it started to happen. It was probably with The Matrix. Was where the CGI got so good that you didn't have to imagine what was happening.
Yeah.
They would just like show you a CGI example. But if you go back to this, just 3 years earlier, it's, chicken wire and like, scaffolding and like plastic sheeting and like body condoms.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that I actually kind of found really interesting while kind of researching this movie a bit, and we'll get to it more like later kind of in the trivia section, but it's no secret that like Terry Gilliam, by this point in his career, had established a pretty awful reputation for himself as being a director that could not be trusted. Because Brazil, Baron Munchausen, like every film he was involved in basically turned into this insane disaster.
Sure.
And so he started doing movies for hire. He did The Fisher King, and then he did this one. And there were a lot of like, okay, you're not going to get a lot of money. This movie was made for $29.5 million. And interestingly, like when they went to the locations that were written in the script, they shot it in Baltimore and in Philadelphia. Because of that limitation, they weren't building a whole lot of sets. They were working in real locations.
Yeah.
So like abandoned power plant, which is, where all of the Inquisitor stuff, everything from the future, a real like psych ward inside of an abandoned penitentiary, a lot of just
Yeah.
real buildings in and around Philadelphia, and
of
I
course,
think
real
like,
cathedrals.
yeah, and so a lot of it, I think, a lot of what makes this movie really good is the fact that they were working within a very finite budget and just were using like real life, architecture and abandoned buildings and stuff that they came across,
Yeah.
and just turning them into it, but there's a really great making of documentary on this, and it actually follows from before they even start production on the movie to after the premiere. Like, I think the quote from Terry Gilliam is if anything goes wrong this time, at least I'm going to have witnesses. So he commissioned the documentary crew to follow him around through the entire time.
Right on.
And watching them sort of transform these these spaces into the sets.
Yeah.
They actually kind of got Gilliam being such a visual guy, he kind of he would get his ideas from stuff that was already there, as opposed to kind of conceptualizing it ahead of time and then trying to build it.
Sure. And they did a lot of reuse of sets too.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the flashbacks, which
Yeah.
is brilliant because you don't have to pay.
Yeah.
You only got to pay for it once.
Yeah.
You get to use it twice. It's awesome.
Yeah. So it was really interesting because this is, being a director for hire, but still bringing the whole Terry Gilliam of it into it is like, I think kind of what makes me really like this movie is it very well could just be like, I mean, when you think of like Bruce Willis, Brad Pitt, summer movie, like, I don't think many people went into this expecting what they got.
No.
So
I'm very curious to learn what people said about it back then, because I don't remember.
I got some. We'll probably. I'm trying to remember if there's a trivia question about that, but no, there's not. The test audiences did not know what the hell to make of it. Most of the cards that they got were fairly negative, and they were like, okay, well, we're going to try to figure out, are we going to change a whole bunch of stuff in order to try to address this feedback?
Right.
Or are we going to put it out as is? And they wound up not changing anything. And it actually was reviewed really, really well. So it's, again, one of those things where what really is the point of that whole process? Because none of it ever seems to matter. And all it does is just seem to make people panic a lot.
Yeah, it comes down to who's holding the purse strings and the power at the end of it.
Right.
If the studio had more say in it, they probably would have had things changed.
Mm-hmm.
But Terry's a powerhouse. He's a legend, living legend. So.
Well, interestingly, one of the things I discovered is they would only allow him final cut on the movie if he was under budget, delivered less than an R rating, and a movie under 2 hours and 15 minutes. And if he did anything else, they were going to take final cut away from him.
Yeah. Did he make budget?
He did. Amazingly, he did.
Because he's never come under a budget on anything he's made. That's amazing. I didn't know that. The Gilliamism of the wide-angle lens handheld camera through a lot of the Insane Asylum stuff is very signature. It's in a lot of Monty Python movies. It's in a lot of Terry Gilliam movies, and it's kind of an aside, but somewhat ironically, right before I watched this movie to sit down and study it, I watched the new Roadhouse.
Oh God!
Which happens in Key West, which is like a theme in this movie. Also, really bad cinematography, just the fucking worst. And
I don't think I could pay any attention to anything other than how fucking terrible what's his bucket was. The fucking Conor McGregor.
Conor, yeah.
And he got such positive fucking reviews. Like I'm convinced that the journalists were afraid that he was going to find them and kick the shit out of them, because I was like, how?
Did you watch it?
I did.
I gotta say, I didn't think it was that bad for what it was supposed to be, which is a dumb beat 'em up movie.
Yes, yeah.
All it was missing was Jason Statham, and
that's true. Yeah,
it was what it was. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse.
I mean, it certainly could have been worse.
Yeah.
I think it was Jake Gyllenhaal, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 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 It certainly could have been worse, but there are a few lines that he just hammed the hell out
Yeah,
of.
it's not written. Anyways,
So
I just thought it was ironic that I watched that movie. It took place in Key West, bad camera work, and then I watched this movie. Talks about Key West, got some bad camera work.
I didn't even make the connection that like the Key West monkey. It was apparently all intentional, or at least in Gilliam's mind, it was.
I'm sure there were things that didn't make the final cut that would have clued us into some of the gags, some of the themes.
Probably.
Yeah, he seems to be someone who overthinks his stuff.
Yeah, that seemed to be a very. That was something that came up a lot in everything that I was sort of watching about this, is that he sort of progressively slides into madness or starts to become the characters in his film halfway through and just doesn't know what the hell is going on, and sort of loses. The thing that I do really like about Gilliam and everything I've watched, he seems to be one of the least pretentious filmmakers that I've ever, because he will just tell you, like, while it's happening, all of the things that he's insecure about, like, you know, that he feels like he doesn't try to pretend he's anything other than what he is.
Yeah.
And is very open about the fact that, like, he is probably his like worst enemy and gets in his own way more than anybody else ever gets in his way.
And he takes it really hard when he gets the criticism for being real too. I've seen it. Did you watch The Man from La Mancha?
It's been a while, but yes.
That's a good display of him like going through the ringer of his own making, really.
Yeah, yeah.
But I still like him. I've always enjoyed his just weird imagination.
Well, I need to see. I realized when I was looking this up that he finally did make The Man Who Killed Don Quixote.
Oh yeah,
and I can't remember if I actually watched it.
It's really good.
Okay,
it's Adam Driver.
Yeah,
and what's his name? The guy who plays Don Quixote is Pierce, Jonathan Price.
Oh, okay.
He's like from Brazil. You know,
interesting.
It's really good. Highly recommend it. Another thing that I was confused about, like, why didn't this get bigger play? Why wasn't this talked about? Why weren't there awards? I liked it.
And then I think previously, and to talk about the Gilliam curse, is like, I think the movie that he did previously was the movie that Heath Ledger was filming when he died, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. Like, the dude has the worst luck on planet
that can't be denied. That's yep. That needs to be studied and quantified. I don't know. How somehow. Most nostalgic scenes?
The ones that this movie has one of the things that I always, those random bits that end up in your everyday vernacular. Brad Pitt as Jeffrey Goins going monkey, and screaming at people to get out of his chair. That's one that
is that what's playing in your brain all the time?
Yeah.
That's great. I like I've always remembered the Insane Asylum. Like it's like all the other stuff is a good part of the film, but like that's where everyone's on, all cylinders.
Yeah. The animals just sort of reclaiming Philadelphia is something I also really, really liked. The vast majority of that was also like practical as well, I think.
Except the giraffes.
Giraffes were the animals that were
really bad.
But just the fucking lions and tigers and elephants just like roaming down like Philadelphia streets, I fucking loved.
Yeah, that's good. Brad Pitt actually not being Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
For the last time, maybe?
The thing I discovered watching this again is I think Crazy Pitt is my favorite Pitt. Like, I mean, all signs point to Brad Pitt being a massive fucking asshole, but like, I think, cool Brad Pitt bores me. Sexy Brad Pitt is just, I don't think I'm the target demographic.
Sure.
And crazy Brad Pitt though, like, you know, like crazy and or dark Pitt, like, you know, this, Seven, Fight Club, like those are the Brad Pitt movies that I actually enjoy, and the performances that I actually enjoy.
Did we talk about War Machine last time? Was that I can't remember if I was talking to you about that. It was like a 2014 movie.
Was that no, that was I was thinking of the sequel, the sort of unofficial sequel to Grosse Point Blank, but that wasn't War Machine.
Oh no, that was just War Inc.
War Inc. Okay.
Yeah. No, War Machine is a Brad Pitt playing a general.
Oh.
And the movie itself is a good critique of the Iraq War. I'm not going to knock it down for that, but it's starring Brad Pitt as he's playing older than he is, or older than he was, but he's basically just being old George Clooney. If you watch it, it's like Brad Pitt as George Clooney as the general, and it's you won't be able to get it out of your head. It's nice. Just it just detracts from the whole movie, I think. But that was the only other time I remember him not being himself.
Okay, yeah.
Because at any other time, and it makes sense, because when you hire Brad Pitt, you just want Brad Pitt in your movie.
Right.
He's not a super adventurous.
Right.
I guess Ad Astra was the other space movie he was in, where he's kind of not being himself. It's too much, but
don't think I saw that one either.
It's okay. Little, I don't know. It's forgettable. I saw it once, but yeah, this the hand waving, the motions in this, the rapid speech.
Yeah. It was really. I was watching this movie going like, I genuinely can't tell if I'm watching a really good performance, a really ham performance,
over the top.
And I think that like, I think that was like intentional in many ways. Like one of the details that I fucking loved is like the first shot that you get of Brad Pitt with the cartoons playing in the background. When he pops his head through the top of his shirt, there's that cartoon like boing.
Yeah.
Like it's like I think they very intentionally made a movie that could be interpreted in many different ways, and apparently it wasn't only the audience that was getting that. Like both the cast, crew, Gilliam, it seemed like at one point in the production, everybody started to lose track of, okay, this like scene that we're filming right now, what fucking year is this supposed to be taking place in? Is this the past? Is this the future?
Right.
Is it like the present? And I think that like that sort of chaos started to like inform everything, where it just started to become a blur of like, what are we actually watching?
Sure.
now? So
I just want to go on the record saying I'm not saying his acting was good. He's just not Brad Pitt. He's just not being himself.
agreed.
I don't quite think he pulls it off.
I think that he got better over time. Like I started looking at this versus like Fight Club or something like that. And I think like he very much is in the like kind of mania, like 24/7 mania of his character. Like I think it would have been interesting had his character had like more depth, like if, you know, like we saw some of the like depressive side of all of that, but
Sure.
It seemed like it was just 24/7 mania with him. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff about that performance, and I'm going to get to some of it in trivia.
Right on.
Finally, I also do really remember the Inquisition scenes, primarily like the video dome.
The ball.
Yeah,
the eyeball.
I think that was like,
I don't know how I don't know how I didn't put that and Terry Gilliam together. Any other time I watch this, I don't know how it got by me.
yeah.
Nitpicks and fixes.
I mean, actually, one of them I already covered, which is like, I've seen this movie God knows how many times and couldn't tell you what it was about. And I don't even know if that's like much of a nitpick, because one of the things I sort of started to realize as I was trying to like think of this part is like, I don't know if it would be the same movie if it made sense, because, you know, you're not going to come out with a strong feeling of what happens. Like the ending is basically up for interpretation.
Right.
So really the only thing I wound up with is just like, there's a whole lot of man ass in this movie.
Yeah, that's one of mine, is like, how many times do I need to watch Brice Willis getting prison scrubbed in under 5 minutes?
Yeah, twice in the first 15 minutes. I actually wrote that part down. It's like,
the other thing, the thing I would bounce back on about it being like wishy-washy and kind of all over the place is that its interpretation of time travel is one that I like, because it actually aligns with what scientists would think. He's never going back to try to change the past. He's just trying to learn the thing that can help his future. He keeps saying, this has already happened. All I see are dead people. This has all happened already. Yeah. He's not trying to change anything like every other time travel movie.
I hadn't put that together. Yeah, that's actually smart.
And and I don't think it gets the credit for being, it's like, I don't know of any other time travel movie that behaves that way.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Anymore?
No, I had a hard time with this one just because, like, I think any major, like, you know, changes or anything like that, I think would take away from
very much,
like, just the uncertainty that is, I think, supposed to be at the core of this. Yeah. So
I don't have any other stuff either. Yeah. It's just I don't think it would be constructive. Yeah. To pick apart the things that I didn't understand or like caught my attention or whatever. So rainy day double feature.
I went with The Fifth Element.
Nice.
I was thinking of like another Bruce movie, another Bruce sci-fi movie, another kind of visually insane movie. Yeah. I just feel like they would go well together.
Sure. I went for Brazil just to relive it. I think I've only seen it twice in my life.
I really need to go back and watch Brazil and Munchausen, because I think I haven't seen either of those in probably over 20 years. Yeah. So
this movie's cocktail / mocktail is the Gilliam. 2 ounces of vodka, 2 ounces of dark rum, 4 ounces of pineapple juice, 4 ounces of orange juice. Garnish a small fishbowl with every fruit rind and swizzle straw in your kitchen and fill it with ice. Pour all the ingredients over ice while reciting any Monty Python sketch. Avoid being crushed by the large paper cutouts of feet coming down from above.
Neat.
And I don't have any alcohol in this, but I think it would make a good brass monkey, like ish.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It was fun. Fun to try to come up with something.
I feel like this would be one of those few drinks that Malibu would actually be pretty good in.
Oh, man. We used to drink that in my apartment when we ran out of water. Wow. I haven't had that since I was a kid. Jesus.
Malibu and Coke, man.
Yeah.
The only alcoholic beverage I actually miss, I think.
All right. You've got me curious now. I'm going to have to go locate some Malibu. This movie's Dead Drop, a voicemail. I just thought it was, it's not quite antiquated. It's not quite out of the zeitgeist, but it's for 1995. It was the coolest fucking thing you could do.
Yeah, very true.
Technologically. And that takes us to our first ad break.
I can't do Chuck. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to try.
And we're back with Act 2, the trivia, where it's just me playing today because Brian brought the questions.
And first off, at the top, I need to get trivia is fucking hard, man. Like,
I was looking at the stuff. I glanced at it briefly. I do not envy you for this one, and I'm sorry. This is the first one I gave Brian to do, and this was probably the hardest one to find trivia for.
Well, actually, it was not bad. I'll go probably at the end. I'll do all the sources. Everything basically came from various parts of the DVD.
Okay.
So, question number 1. So, Brad Pitt, Brice Willis, they all did this movie on the cheap. In fact, I don't think Brice Willis got paid until after the movie came out. But part of that meant they had to do with a lot less during the filming of this. So as part of his deal, Brice Willis was allowed a driver, a bodyguard, and one other creature comfort. Was it A, his own personal chef, B, his favorite stuntman, or C, his own personal gym, which he reportedly never used?
I'm gonna go with the third one because it's funny.
Yes, he actually part of what he was allowed was his own portable gym, which they
that's the good one. That's the right one.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Terry Gilliam said it was about a half of a city block long. They had to take it everywhere they shot, and it basically never got used.
Because he's not lifting or anything for this movie.
No, I mean he's supposed to look as horrible as he possibly can in this film.
Huh?
So, question number 2. This is a true or false. 12 Monkeys is based on a French short film, La Jetée. True or false, Terry Gilliam had actually not bothered to watch the film until after 12 Monkeys had already premiered in theaters.
I hope it's false.
That is true.
Oh,
he
God.
said he saw some of the stills, but he intentionally did not want anybody to accuse him of ripping off the film. So apparently the first time he ever saw it was when it premiered in Paris. They ran it as essentially a double feature, and that was the first time he actually ever saw it.
Wow. I can understand not wanting to be influenced, but then to claim the influence.
Right.
And then to not watch it until you're done with your movie. You're like, finally, I get to watch this movie that influenced this entire other movie.
Yeah, it's a bizarre one.
That's bizarre.
Question number 3. There were actually Academy Award nominations for this film. I believe it actually won for costume design. And as far as the other awards, was there a nomination for Best Supporting Actor for Brad Pitt, Best Original Soundtrack, or Best Supporting Actress in Madeleine Stowe?
I'll go with Madeleine Stowe.
Brad Pitt was actually nominated for an Academy Award and a Golden Globe for this film.
Oh, all right.
Question number 4. This is another true or false. Brad Pitt spent about 6 months preparing for the role of Jeffrey Goines. True or false, once arriving in Philadelphia to start actually preparing for shooting, he actually checked himself into a mental ward of a hospital under the name of Jeffrey Goines.
True.
That is actually true.
Yeah, I figured.
And according to Gilliam, he did such a good job convincing people he was crazy, the hospital didn't actually want to release him. Okay, question number 5. Despite the already small budget of 12 Monkeys at $29.5 million, the studio was having difficulties at the time of filming. They were running out of money and kept asking Gilliam to continue to cut corners during production because A, having both Brad Pitt and Brice Willis on set was proving a little more expensive than originally planned, and they were worried that Gilliam was going to go way over budget again. B, Waterworld was also filming at the same time of this movie and was sinking the studio. Or C, Brice Willis had to go do some reshoots for Die Hard, pausing filming for a couple of weeks and forcing unexpected reshoots.
I love Waterworld. I'm going to pick Waterworld.
It is in fact B. Waterworld was filming at the same time of this, and Universal was running out of money because of it. So,
wow, that's awesome.
Question number 6. One of the most difficult shots to film in the entire movie was a shot early on of Brice Willis naked in that High Inquisitor's chair drawing his own blood. What should have been a 5-minute shot wound up taking almost the entire day of filming because A, the set was incredibly cold, Brice Willis was naked, and he was having a hard time getting his hands to stop shaking. B, a hamster, barely visible in the foreground, would not reliably run on a hamster wheel, driving Terry Gilliam crazy. Or C, the mechanical chair was continually malfunctioning.
I'll go with A.
It is actually the hamster.
The hamster.
In that shot, it is barely even visible.
I know.
You can only
I don't remember
see
it
as a shadow, but you can see kind of in the foreground a silhouette of a hamster running on a hamster wheel. And this was what became known as the hamster factor. It was the thing that Terry Gilliam got so laser focused on that he was losing everything else around him and only focusing on the performance of the hamster in that scene.
Oh, man. All right.
Question number 7. Terry was allowed to have final cut on the movie provided it didn't get worse than an R rating. It came in no longer than 2 hours and 15 minutes. And he brought it in on or under budget, $29.5 million. True or false, the budget document handed to producers was actually longer than the script itself.
False.
True. The script, written by David and Janet Peoples, came in at roughly 120 pages. The budget document given to the producers was 137.
Okay. I can see that.
8, this is another true or false. There was one actor fired on set. The actor who played young Cole was replaced on the day by another young actor because the first choice couldn't actually act.
Neither could the second one. What? Okay. Sorry, what was the question?
True or false, was the first actor fired for a second actor?
False. I don't know.
It's actually true.
Oh, God.
The first actor was cast entirely because Terry Gilliam thought the kid had really photogenic eyes.
Yeah.
And he was planning on opening and closing the film with the close-up on the kid's eyes. But when it actually came to the day to shoot, they realized that this kid can't fucking act. So they replaced him with another kid that was one of the extras, but the producer had continued to keep because he was convinced that the first kid couldn't act.
Right.
And that kid apparently was the better actor. So that was my thought too, which is like, really? This was the better of the two? So number 9, in test screenings, the scenes that got the strongest reaction from audiences was A, the gratuitous shots of Brice Willis and Brad Pitt's butts, B, the real-life footage of animal testing, C, the near sexual assault of Catherine and the brutal beating of the assailants.
I was thinking the theater. The
C?
assault, yeah.
It was actually the real-life footage of the animal testing.
Animal testing?
So
right
it
on.
was interesting that in this dystopian fantasy, the thing that actually was getting the strongest reaction was just straight-up realistic footage of people testing on animals.
Yep, doesn't surprise me.
Number 10, the script called for shooting in Baltimore and Philadelphia. True or false, the scriptwriters had no reason to set the script in either of the cities and in fact had never been to either of them.
That was the question?
Yes.
Oh, true.
Yes, that is in fact true.
Yeah, you don't need to have been there to know they're beautiful.
I'll give a bonus. This is a bonus.
Oh, okay.
one. True or false, this was apparently almost a Nicolas Cage film.
Oh, I hope it's true.
It is in fact true. Apparently, Terry Gilliam revealed on the 25th anniversary of the movie that Nicolas Cage was the producer's original choice for the Brice Willis role.
Man, what was he doing? When did Vampire's Kiss come out? Was that late 80s, early 90s.
Probably. Because I think this would have, I get the feeling that this would have been like Con Air, Face Off era Nicolas Cage, I think. Because this was like 96.
I think they were doing Face Off. We did Face Off last week.
Oh, nice.
And I'm trying to think of the same time period and why they wouldn't have had him. But I don't see that improving the movie much. It would have been different.
I think it would have been a cult classic in a different kind of way.
Yeah. I think Cage and Gilliam would have clashed. Because Cage is much more always trying to influence the outcome of the film.
Yeah.
And Gilliam, I don't think would put up with that shit.
Yeah. So the source for these, there is the making of documentary is actually called The Hamster Factor.
Right on.
They named it after the insane bit with him going crazy about the hamster.
Right.
But I got most of these questions either from the DVD commentary, that documentary, or there was a discussion in a discussion with Terry Gilliam on the DVD from a London film thing.
Sure.
But so most of these are from Gilliam or one of the producers on here. So
right on. I'm going to go check them out.
The documentary is really freaking good. So
that's all we had for back then, before the internet. It's the only source of what we call tea today.
And one of the things I realized looking this up is IMDb. I'm surprised that there's no requirement for sources on IMDb trivia, which is
it's a shooting gallery. So if you put something up and somebody else contests it, they can take it down.
Gotcha.
That's pretty much the peer review quality of IMDb. But yeah, you're right. There is no.
So it was
you can throw up wild shit, but your account will get closed if you get hit too many times.
Okay.
That kind of deal.
Okay.
So it is kind of like Wikipedia, where you'll get called out for
gotcha
for setting landmines or whatever. Thank you very much, Brian. Thank you for the trivia.
Yeah,
I know it wasn't easy.
Yeah, it was fun.
Now is when we like to thank our executive producers. Thank you, Eddie Martinez. Eddie Martinez is the longest running, most generous executive producer we've ever had. We will continue to honor her. If you too would like to have your name shouted out on each episode, you can support us on Patreon for $15 a month. NostalgiaKillers.com takes you there, and that takes us to our second ad break. And we're back with Act 3 of the award categories, where we always start off with my new band name.
This had a lot of good ones.
Did it? I had a hard time. Mine aren't even quotes. Maybe, sort of.
Yeah, they had some good ones, but they all came from the exact same scenes, I think. So, I think I only have two. I went artist, song, album.
Sure.
My first one, the artist is Volunteer Duty. There's a part of me that wants to say, with a name like Volunteer Duty, they're probably some sort of alt country nonsense. With the song Shaved, Sterilized, and Destroyed from the album Fuck the Bozos.
Yeah. I was searching through his lines, and there's nothing that poignant to pick out.
That one scene, because Fuck the Bozos, Shaved, Sterilized, and Destroyed, there was also the Pretend Friend to Animals. It was all from the exact same scene where he's him in the HQ of the Army of the 12 Monkeys. There was a lot of good stuff that sort of came from that one scene, I think.
Yeah. One of mine is I'm Not Crazy by Lazy Eye Overkill.
Nice.
I don't understand the need to give him a lazy eye prosthetic contact lens?
Supposedly that was his idea. It was supposed to just
Fucking
be like
actors.
eyes never really like looking in the same place.
Yeah, it is like perfectly off-putting, but you should just be able to act.
I think because I think that's been done. Like if you look at,
The last one I saw was Paul Giamatti.
I was thinking
In,
of the guy from It, the guy who played the newer Pennywise.
Oh yeah.
He
Sarsgaard?
has a really unsettling ability to just independently move
Move
his
his
eyes,
Okay.
and it's fucking terrifying. I think that like that he did it really well. Brad Pitt a little bit less so because apparently it was just like a contact lens.
Yeah.
I think
There's one close up where you can see the outside,
Yeah.
the edge of the lens. It's like,
Yeah. My second one is the group is another kind of Lilith Fair band called the Cassandra Complex.
yeah.
With the song Women Psychiatrists.
Oh, God.
Off of the album Colonics for Everyone.
I can't tell if it was a commentary on the unnecessary misogyny
Right.
in the film, or if it was just Terry saying what he thought.
The way that it was delivered made it feel-
Plummer didn't do. He didn't really mince it. He didn't
Yeah.
really. He meant one thing by it.
Yeah.
But Jesus.
Yeah.
My second one is "I Want My Money Back," the song by the French Trenches Tourism Bureau. If I was going through time travel and it said, "We're going to send you back to 1996 right on the dot," and you wake up in fucking World War I,
Yeah.
I would be mad. I'd be like, "You guys are done. I'm done with you. Leave me alone."
Yeah. I was really impressed with like, sets like that, and still thinking like 29.5 million, like they got a lot out of that 29.5, I think.
If you go back and so World War I and II are huge themes in Monty Python, Blackadder, British
yeah.
television. That's
Yeah.
one thing they know how to fucking do well.
Yeah. I didn't think about
That was like Terry Gilliam just shot that out one day. He didn't even have to think about how to do it.
Yeah,
He didn't even have to look far to find people to speak Old French.
probably.
And it was like, yeah, that's the kind of thing that didn't surprise me that they did. There's that, the religious themes, shooting things in churches, having street preachers,
Yeah.
like that kind of Terry Gilliam stuff is a very common theme in Life of Brian, Holy Grail.
The street preacher in Philly who's like, "You're one of us." Like, I swear that guy could have been taken out of Philadelphia and put in a field somewhere, and it would have been the exact same fucking costume from like a Monty Python skit.
Yeah.
Looked very Monty Python there.
Yeah, there's a lot of common themes from Terry's past productions in this movie,
Yeah.
including Brazil. Got any more?
No, that's it. I did have a hard time pulling stuff out.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It's a very imaginative movie, but it didn't really spark much in me. I just really like watching it.
Yeah.
The Roger Deakins Would Be Proud Award for cinematography.
There were a lot of them on this one. I think one of my favorites was the kind of plastic magnifying glass sheet in front of one of the Inquisitors, and they cut to her, and it's just her face like blown completely out of proportion. I really liked that.
For me, this is a lot of people won't know this right off the bat, but I can guarantee you there was a 24 millimeter lens glued to the camera that they used. They pretty much didn't use anything else. There's a couple.
Wide angle.
Yeah.
They talked about that a lot.
Yeah.
In like the commentary.
That was the attitude of cinematographers from the 60s and 70s, is that you shouldn't need a wide array of lenses or need to change the lens to get the shot you want. You should move the camera and make a character out of it.
Right.
If you go back and watch the scene where they're checking into the hotel, it's an overhead shot looking down at three people, and you see all three people, and it's just one lens. You see the environment.
Yeah.
And it's like any other time. I mean, it's disorienting in the insane asylum. It's how it's used that way, because it's handheld. It's a lot of close ups and silly stuff. But there's I I think the only shots I saw that were might not have been that lens were in the car when they're doing, reverse shot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a staple of, and you see it in Fear and Loathing, Brazil, all those movies.
Yeah.
It's
Fear and Loathing had that same sort of. I think it's good at sort of making something appear slightly like unrealistic. Like, I think it's good at like, the mental institution scenes, making everything seem just like slightly, the perspective seems skewed.
Sure.
Because I did have like a lot of the close-ups of like fucked up, Cole in the mental ward, or like when he first appears in the jail when he first meets the psychiatrist and everything.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of like real close-ups that just seem like skewed and warped, kind of.
Another great film to study with this technique is Amelie.
Okay.
Also, pretty much just one lens, and it's bizarre. If you watch behind the scenes, the camera is right at the actor's forehead almost anytime they have a close up.
Yeah,
they don't change the lens; they just move the camera up to them, and it looks weird. But then when you watch the movie, you might not have noticed it.
Right.
But if you watch it now, you'll be like, you'll see like that's just how they. I don't know. It's an aesthetic. I like to use different lenses, but they all have their purpose.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of 24 millimeter in this one for sure. It's also easy to cover up mistakes. When you're shooting on a wide angle lens and you bump the camera, it doesn't look that bad.
Okay.
If it's also really hard to miss your target. You can pretty much see everything in it. Of course this is all shot on film, so it's got to be.
Yeah.
If you're waving the camera around, you don't have a monitor.
Right.
Like they had a VCR like type monitors, so they could see like a shitty production of what the camera was seeing, but they never actually saw what was being put to film.
Oh, interesting.
So they could see what was in frame. If you're watching an old film set, you'll see the old CRT monitors.
Right.
That's what they were using, but is a little video pickup inside the actual film camera, trying to see the same-ish thing.
Okay.
So they, it's a risk when you point the camera at something and you can't really put your eye to the eyepiece,
right,
to capture. So
interesting.
I don't know. Things were harder. Things were a lot harder back then.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Is that Channing Tatum in a dog collar award?
I want to go back 1 second to the cinematography. The final crane shot of the film. You come from like this super, super high up looking down at the parking lot all the way down into like sweeping into the car to get a close up of the kid's eyes to end on it.
Right.
That was probably one of the most expensive like shots in the entire film. And the reason that it was done the way that it was done is that Terry Gilliam did not want the movie to end that way. He wanted the movie to end with Madeleine Stowe's characters locking eyes on young Cole so that it would bookend the thing perfectly.
Oh.
The producers, though, they wanted the scene in the airplane with the other Inquisitor meeting like the microbiologist,
right,
to provide some sort of a button on the whole story. And then like the producer really wanted the fucking like the end scene in the parking lot, and I believe that was because that was a shot included in the original French film. And so Gilliam was like, okay, fine. If you want to do this, here's how we're going to do it. I want a crane on top of another crane, and I want like 1,000 cars in the parking lot. He said he wanted to make this shot so fucking complicated and expensive that the producers would have to say no. And the producer said yes. So he was like, fuck. So, but they had 2 cranes, one on top of the other. But the shot is really impressive because it goes from this massive overhead shot of this huge parking lot all the way to like right up on the back window of the car that they get into to end on the kid's eyes again. But it was basically creative spite. He was like, I don't want to do this. I'm going to come up with the most ridiculously hard and expensive shot possible so that you say no. but they said yes anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Is that Channing Tatum and a Dog Collar Award?
There weren't a whole lot of them in here, but you have Christopher Maloney.
Yep.
Early Christopher Maloney. Who did you have?
We got Matt Ross.
Yes. I had him down too. I only recognize him from Silicon Valley.
Sure. I thought he was in more stuff too, but he's in a lot of the movies that we cover for some strange reason. He was also in Face Off. He was also, let's see, he's in Aviator. He's in I never knew his name until we brought it up like 6 months ago, and now he's in everything we do. So I had to mention him.
I also had Annie Golden. She was the taxi driver. It
was a weird cameo.
Ton of stuff.
Yes, she was a huge movie star.
And then Frank Gorshin, I didn't really recognize him. He was basically the head of the psychiatric facility. I guess he's more known as a voice actor. He got really good at like impersonations. But Terry Gilliam said like one of the voices he did was the Riddler, and just Terry Gilliam just fell in love with the idea of the Riddler running the insane asylum.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I also got a Tom Waits song.
Yeah,
I just threw that in there. Tom Waits.
Yeah.
There's also Donald Faison. I found him.
I couldn't find him.
I found him. He's in there for 2 frames in the very back.
Wow. Okay.
And it's like barely enough to bother. I didn't even write it down. I just remembered it.
I was going to, but I watched the movie twice and never saw him.
It's right before he breaks out of he gets the key and he gets out the door. It's right before he leaves and shuts the door.
Wow.
And it's like 2 frames and he's in the very background. He's got a weird, like his hair is just frizzy. His eyes are blacked. But yeah, not, I can't remember if I wrote this down later. Well, it's for my next one. So, Guy Pearce is trash, a controversial hot take.
I had a hard time with this one. I think because I kept going back and forth on like, is this a good movie with good performances? And I really had a hard time coming up. I enjoy the movie and I enjoy the performances. Whether or not they're technically good, I couldn't tell you.
Not even Brice Willis?
I think no, not because like
you don't think he's doing his top stuff in here?
Well, I think it's less about what he's doing and more about what he's not doing, because so much of what I think makes his performance good is that he's holding back so much. I mean, like when you watch the scenes of him and Pitt, he's barely moving.
Yeah.
Like Pitt is just like so fucking manic, and he's just like, he's drugged during a lot of it. So he almost has like no real like readable expression. I think like it was hard to really, I think, place it. I think that like it was good. Like I think his performances were good, and like one of the moments where he's actually in the car like reacting to the radio and stuff, I think were probably some of the best acting he's done.
Sure.
But it's, he's not, I guess, really known as like actor. Like he became so much of like an action film guy, but this I think was pretty.
I would say there was Pulp Fiction,
right,
and then there was the Dead People movie.
Yeah, Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense. Those are probably my 2 most memorable acting moments of him.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's more, but yeah, I know what you mean. I do sense him holding back, or maybe not. I don't know. But a lot of that time, I mean, he was approaching his full clout there. But a lot of times it's the director, giving weird directions or restraints. Or
what was interesting about this is apparently like this just happened to be like the period where they got both, Bruce Willis and Brad Pitt, because they both wanted to prove that they could act. Like for Brad Pitt, it was because he was brand new, and it was essentially like Legends of the Fall, An Interview with a Vampire. So I think he was like, I'm already getting typecast.
Right.
I want to actually prove I can do something. So I think Seven, he had just finished making Seven, but it hadn't come out. And so they got him like dirt cheap because he wanted to prove that he was actually an actor. And I think Brice Willis already felt like he had become typecast and was trying to do something completely different. So it was kind of an interesting, like, you know, it was just a point in time where they managed to somehow get both of these people dirt cheap because of where they were, like, in their careers.
Sure.
And I think because of that, they both were trying to prove that they could do something. So they were both like super invested in actually doing as good as they could.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah. But yeah, I think like the hamster factor documentary, this is my controversial hot take, is probably as good as the movie.
Okay.
If not,
I'm definitely going to check it out.
It's really interesting because it doesn't just follow Gilliam. It also follows like some of the producers. You get to watch like some of the test screenings and see a bunch of the feedback that they got.
Sure.
And like,
that's good. I missed those documentaries.
Yeah. And they're so hard to find now, but, it's really
studios are so afraid of letting anyone peek behind the curtain.
Yeah. And this is like the biggest look behind the curtain imaginable. So.
Awesome. My first one is I'm not sure that the Army of 12 Monkeys are the bad guys.
Yeah, very true.
It's which kind of it makes a problem for the movie because they're supposed to be the bad guys that everyone's supposed to be hunting down. And you know, there's the term eco-terrorist.
Right.
That's you know, propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really fault them for wanting to do the right thing.
No. No.
I don't think they were going as extreme as Goins. So
right.
You know.
I mean, yeah, that's actually a really good point. I mean, it's
leave
like
them alone, man.
The worst thing that Goins did, like in the whole fucking movie, was like let some animals loose. Like, that's it. That's all the dude did. And like, yeah, his insanely wealthy father was arguably way worse than he was.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes back, you know, to I think that it's actually like really, I don't know if it was intended at all, but I think it's really poignant that, you know, the thing that most people reacted to more than anything else was the real life shit that was depicted in this movie of like the animal testing.
Yeah.
That was so much, you know, worse and like more visceral than anything you see in this film. It was those couple of seconds of like real life fucking like animal testing footage.
I remember that being a poignant cause during that time too. Mm-hmm. It was pretty big. It was a pretty big movement to show the world all those videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, they've been taking those videos since the 60s or whatever, but animal testing came to become a pretty big, I don't think it ever got to be political because it was the boomers' time, so they didn't give a shit. But 12 Monkeys, not the bad guys.
No.
Also, are we sure that Madeline Stowe and Laura Linney are two different people?
I have to look her up.
She was.
You're right. Yeah.
In the Truman Show, she's in a lot of.
Yeah.
She's playing the exact same woman as Madeline Stowe. However, I know the name very well.
There's also a movie. I think I also get her and Holly Hunter from Copycat because they're both like I think they're both psychiatrists in the movies and they look pretty similar. And so I kept getting confused about who I was watching.
Yeah, like until I looked up her name, I could have sworn it was Laura Linney.
Yeah.
Who this.
Well, especially with the blonde wig. Yeah, she puts the blonde wig on. She turns into Laura Linney.
Yeah, and it's just the facial expressions. The mannerisms, the
Yeah.
voice, they're very similar. Blue Velvet meets Blue's Clues.
I went with Looper. I went another Bruce Willis.
I was thinking, watching this whole thing, this is just a pre-run for Looper.
Yeah, it was just like, but basically like Crazy Bruce runs into another Crazy Bruce in another parallel like universe type thing,
Yeah.
where they are like alternate timeline Bruce Willis's and Brad Pitt's and everything. Like I thought that could be.
I thought it'd be really funny if in Looper they inserted this dream sequence from 12 Monkeys and see if anyone noticed.
That would be good. Yeah.
My whole thing would be to put this plot under the umbrella of the Truman Show, so that the people got bored with just watching Truman, so they had to start fucking with his life and pretending to send him back in the future. That's what I would mix it up with.
Wasn't that like, I feel like that was part of the movie Gamer. It was like a Gerard, but it was like the audience could donate or something like that to like throw obstacles at, it was some sort of like reality TV show that was
I remember. I think I remember. I never watched it, but I know the premise, and I think I know what you're talking about. Oh wow! Any a la cartes?
Not really. Like the only one I can really think of like is the Hans Gruber Death Fall, and honestly, like the guy that gets his head, pile drived into the concrete pillar.
Yeah.
It's just really only seeing Bruce Willis get shot over and over and over again.
Well, I got. I think she'd be mad at me if I didn't mention this. I'm sure she would, but I got Lauren Haney's Cutie Pie Award, and I just listed Bruce Willis's ass. It is a nice butt. I was put it out there. It's like there's a reason they showed it off more than once.
Yeah. Yeah. In the first 15 minutes.
Yep.
They didn't want anybody leaving that theater early.
That was the plan. And just every 15 minutes, he should just show his butt.
And apparently, Brad, it was his idea to moon. So
Yeah.
you got both of the butts.
Do we call it Jules and Vincent?
I'm letting it live.
I'm letting it live. I will definitely watch this again. I want to find someone to show this to for the first time and just like observe them.
Yeah.
And watch them like not like it, like break apart.
I think the reason that this was probably as divisive as it is, if it even, I don't even know how divisive it is. I just think the fact that like you got two of the biggest movie stars of the era in this fucking movie. I just think people expected one thing and got something that they could not like understand when it was all over.
Sure.
It's like I don't know how many movies, like there are a lot of movies that end on, uncertainty and, what actually happens, but they're not usually the movies that have the two biggest stars out at the time. Those, like when you have massive Hollywood vehicles like that, they're usually pretty fucking pat and pretty easy to understand.
Yeah.
And this just took that whole thing and flipped it on its head very, very intentionally. And I just, the whole time I was watching this, I was wondering, like, I felt like I understood the movie way better after watching the documentary, understanding what they were going for, because I feel like if you just watch this thinking you're watching a Hollywood movie with two huge Hollywood actors, you're like, I have no idea what the hell I just watched.
Sure.
Once you understand that you're basically watching a European like art film made in the Hollywood system
That the director never even watched.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, this makes a lot more sense now.
It's living. Mm-hmm. Before we move on, any pluggables?
Go to hate45.com because I'm starting to think that Etsy is shadow banning political shit.
Because on the take.
Like over the last 2 fucking months, dude, like traffic, like sales, just everything just went way the fuck down. And I didn't change anything.
Who owns Etsy?
That's a good question. Who owns Etsy?
Is it Facebook?
Publicly owned by institutional investors and mutual funds. BlackRock and Vanguard?
Well, there's your answer. This has been the pluggables section.
Firms like Vanguard and BlackRock control over 25% of the company's shares. Holy shit. That explains a lot.
They may as well just say it's run by George Bush.
Yeah, fuck. Wow. The audience, you discovered that at the same time I did.
I'm not going to beat that, so I don't have anything to plug. But let's see. I do have something to plug. If you're listening to this, and this is Brian's learning this also for the first time, we are nearing our 100th episode.
Nice.
And things have slowed down this year, but we've got I've created this large goal that's hopefully going to help us get our energy back and get us spruced up. So instead of just one movie for the 100, there will be the 100, and we'll announce what they are soon. But we're going to do 10. So
Nice.
100 through 109. Me, Chuck, and Javi are each picking 3 movies,
Nice.
and we're going to celebrate the shit out of them. So that's like I can start plugging that now, and we'll get into we've already kind of picked our movies, and we'll slowly leak what's coming out.
Very cool.
At the current pace, I'd like to say it's going to happen this summer, but we've got 5 more movies to go before 100, and I can let out 100 now. It's Pulp Fiction. I'm sorry.
Very cool.
I don't know how we're going to do it because everyone wants to be on that one, but it'll be me, Chuck, and Javi in some way, and then maybe we can figure out how to bring in one section from other people, have them call in or just leave us notes or whatever, and we'll figure it out. But it's going to be fun. I want to celebrate it. I want to make it big. We've been doing this a long fucking time now.
Yeah. Yeah. We can do LA Story if you need help getting to 100.
That's true. That's on the list. Yeah, we've got. I think we've got. I don't know if we haven't done everything set up to 100 yet, but we'll figure it out.
Nice.
Our Sonic Death Monkey top 5. Yeah, top 5 all-time movies you'd go back in time to stop from happening.
Okay, so I need to ask: did you write that question before watching the movie?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
because when you sent me this, I was like, oh, I think he must have really hated the movie.
No, it's not even that great of a question, but it's easy to write jokes for.
Yes.
So when I write these, I try to come up with something that's really personal. That's also easy to write jokes for.
Right.
But this is kind of just a throwaway. I wasn't inspired to.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just me and you, so it's gonna.
Yeah. Well, in the vein of good jokes, my number 5 is Battlefield Earth.
Ooh, nice. I had crossed that in my mind, but I think my number 5 is one that's done way more damage. Fast and Furious.
Okay.
Battlefield Earth is bad. Probably shouldn't have happened, but I don't think too many people watched it.
That's true.
Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
I think is I'm not gonna. I've already even said this on the episode. I was on it.
Right.
It's a cultural icon. I even let it live. Like it's a part of people's world, but it's also marks this point in my mind where movies changed.
I feel like they
changed away from what I really valued in film.
Well, I'm old enough, and I feel like you and I are roughly the same age. I think, like, I'm old enough to remember when people
35.
were talking about how MTV changed TV and filmmaking forever.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's generational. For sure.
So I feel like Fast and the Furious did that again.
Yeah.
So it's like the same kind of a thing where like audiences had already had shorter fucking attention spans and all of that shit because of, the MTV effect. And that got even shorter.
Fast and Furious was the Total Recall Live, or the Total, what was it? Was that show where they play like 30 seconds of a music video and then they had Total Request Live.
Oh, right. Yes.
And then they had the fake person call in with a bubble already drawn and read up. I was like, yeah, whatever, dude. They try to shove like 50 moments of music videos into a half-hour episode. Like, just show the fucking thing.
My number 4, any Uwe Boll or Kirk Cameron movie. Just two people that should not be making films, but for entirely different reasons. One, a massive edgelord, and the other has to do everything Christian.
Yeah.
So, although was Kirk Cameron in? Was he in Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
No, Kirk Cameron.
Yeah,
Kirk. You mean the father from Family Ties?
Yes.
Kirk Cameron.
Yeah, Kirk Cameron.
He was in Family Ties. He was a kid in the 80s.
Okay. All right then.
But his
Growing Pains.
Yeah,
Growing Pains. That shit. Yeah. Ugh.
My number 4. It's kind of a sore spot because this is one of Chuck's favorites. But Howard the Duck.
Okay.
I tried. When we covered that movie, I watched it twice. I studied it. I tried to find anything redeeming in it. I remember liking it as an 8-year-old.
Right.
When it came on TV, because
I think I might have seen that in the theaters.
And some weird stuff. But watching it again, like, the dialogue makes no sense. Hike and his wife, I forget her name. There's two people who were big in the Star Wars legacy, of writers.
Right.
And they wrote and produced Howard the Duck, which was pre-existing material as a comic book.
Right.
And they fucked it up so bad. It's just so gross. And there's like duck nipples. I don't know if you remember it.
Yes.
There's duck nipples in the first 5 minutes. Yeah, that's my number 4. It's gotta go. I gotta go back in time and stop those people from making that movie.
Yeah. Number 3, I think that there was a lot to choose from here. I went with Jack and Jill, but basically there's probably 20 or so Adam Sandler movies that could make this.
Yeah, it's a theme in mind too.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen Jack and Jill because everyone's told me how shitty it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no interest.
Yeah.
My number 3, this is another cultural icon that is it's huge. It's big in movie history.
Mm-hmm.
A big stepping stone, a big, look back at what happened here. But I don't think it needed to happen in order for us to feel this way. Kids.
Yeah.
And basically anything Harmony Korine probably could be wiped from the earth.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're any worse off culturally.
I feel like Harmony Korine is Uwe Boll. if you, I don't even know how to pronounce that motherfucker's name. If Boll wasn't making massive huge video game inspired movies and thought he was an art school kid.
Right.
It's basically the same shit. It's, just an edgelord, but a different fucking end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, I say this as this is just my opinion. It could be, I would be loath to meet the person who would defend kids.
Yeah.
But, that's my number 3.
Yeah. Argument, maybe some of those people might still be alive. Harold Hunter, an amazing fucking skateboarder within kids.
Yep.
We did get, it was Rosario Dawson and then what was the Chloe Sevigny? Both of their first movies?
Yeah, but they
would have gotten there.
They would have gotten more. Yeah. I would argue that Gummo is somewhat better, important. It's also out there and weird.
Right.
But I don't think it was necessary to put those people through that.
I would agree with that. Yeah. Number 2, right?
Yeah.
Number 2 for me is Red Dawn.
What?
I feel... Okay, it's been a very long time since I've seen the original. I've seen the second one. I feel like the people who dearly love Red Dawn are not people I really want to know very well.
The first one was the 80s one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was trying to do a little bit of research into it because I've seen it before. It's been a really long time. I think it was supposed to be a more critical movie, but then wound up just kind of becoming like propaganda. And everybody I know who fucking loves Red Dawn has a lot of fucking guns and like probably some questionable political views.
Yeah.
One of those happens to be a really good friend of mine who almost every time owns a local business in which you can buy things that go bang. And every time I go there, I feel like Red Dawn is on in the background.
Sure. Well, isn't it lost on those people? Isn't it just like a mascot for them at this point? I
think it might be
because I mean, I'm not trying to knock down your pick here, but like the movie itself is like a reflection of the thoughts of the time, like the commies, the Russians, and all that stuff was so blown out of proportion.
Yeah, but I wonder how much of the subtlety is caught because there was like the newer remake that has one of the Hemsworths in it, and instead of like the commies, it's the North Koreans. It just seems to be like if anybody really wants to retreat into the woods with a whole lot of guns, like Red Dawn is probably one of their favorite movies.
Sure.
So
I do agree that the fantasy is a problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's more about the cultural significance than the film itself.
Sure.
And sort of what it created, maybe.
Yeah. And I remember a lot of people from the 80s who were that kind of, I grew up in the military, so I saw a lot of that mentality. Still don't understand it. It's all the result of propaganda and bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of bullshit, my number 2, Catwoman. Sorry, Halle Berry. I think I don't know if it would have made your career better or worse if you had not done this movie. Still the worst movie I've ever seen.
It's been a really long time since I've seen that one.
I kind of want to rewatch it out of like morbid curiosity.
Yeah.
Then again, I don't. I want an escape. I want an exit door. I want to be able to jump up and leave as soon as I feel the urge.
My number 1, The Adventures of Milo and Otis.
Oh no.
Simply because
the torture?
Yes. A whole lot of animal torture. Because it was not an American production. Apparently it was like, I think Chinese or Japanese.
I thought it was German. Maybe not. I actually don't know.
And they trimmed like 20 minutes off of it and added a voiceover. And that's how they released it in the US.
God, I need to, I forget who did the voices.
So it was Dudley Moore.
Dudley Moore
narrated it. But it was originally a Japanese movie, with Japanese narration and poetry. And then they removed 15 minutes from the original film, made a shorter English language version that Dudley Moore narrated, and released it. But yeah, it was.
So that wasn't the talking animals. That was just a narrated.
I don't think there were voices. I don't think this one had talking animals.
There was another franchise.
All the characters are voiced by the narrator and the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So it was Dudley.
But yeah, just like God knows how many like cats and dogs there was shit that I like. So every time a cat or a dog would fall off of something, there was literally just somebody off like screen just chucking dogs off of like waterfalls and shit.
Yeah, shoving them off with brooms.
And apparently, it's said that like they literally stitched 2 piglets together to make a weird freak piglet. Like it was in some of the stuff I looked up about this. Let me find.
Oh my God.
A follow-up on the 20th of October 1998 included anonymous staff testimony supporting the claims such as anesthesia overdoses, cliff throwing, and proposed surgical interventions on animals, including sewing piglets together. Now, the source for this is in Japanese, so I can't read much more than what I read in Wikipedia here.
Sure.
But yeah, they were just fucking chucking animals all over the place. So
Good God. I've heard the rumors. I remember people talking about it, but I never heard like the specifics. That's fucking horrifying, man. That's a horror movie in itself.
yeah. I think
Damn.
I think that I saw it when I was a kid. So obviously, I had no
I remember
fucking
seeing
clue
it as
what
a
I
kid.
was watching.
There was that. There was Homeward Bound. There's
Right.
Benji.
Yeah.
I got shoved in the theater 100 times by my parents. Go watch this. Sit down. Shut up. Like, all right. My number one, not as poignant as yours, but maybe for humankind, I would go back and stop all of Rob Schneider's unexplained success.
Yeah.
I remember laughing with my friends about Male Gigolo, but like it just kept going. And then, looking back at that stuff now, and it's really not, it's mean. A lot of it's just mean.
Yeah.
It's not like super funny. It's just mean shit.
Yeah. Yep. No arguments here.
And that brings us to the end of our regular show. You can follow us onto our Patreon for the epilogue, where we talk about our current movies and our recent viewings. NostalgiaKillers.com takes you there. Thank you for listening. I have been Luke Lone.
I have been Brian.
And we have been the Nostalgia Killers. Bang, bang.